What's up, everybody? Stalker here. Um, Nothing really in particular. Just a little midday stream. And some random thoughts I had. I know lately, TFDI released several huge updates. One to fix some of the of course, some of the still issues that the Boeing's been having, and then this latest one here released the put out the real light lighting system that they're implementing in the 717. And I don't care what anyone says. Some people will say that's FS Spotlight's knockoff. Some people will say it's like blah. I don't care. It's to me, it's probably some of the most realistic lighting out there. Straight up, hands down. You can take it or leave it. So I didn't get a chance to really showcase that in this stream, but I was browsing through the forums and I couldn't help but look at some of the some people are still having issues. Apparently, right after the engine start up, the engines stay they stay up around 72% in one or something like that. Um, I haven't necessarily had that problem just yet. Some people have also been complaining of problems crossing waypoints, getting jittery going across waypoints. We're about to cross ELD right now. Chatty beat, what's going on, brother? Let's see, we're about to cross ELD now, and I mean, I know what they're talking about. As soon as you cross a waypoint, it's kind of like, oh, which way did I go? Which way did I go? Kind of freaking out. I mean, I'm not getting that either. I'm not saying that doesn't exist. I'm just saying based on my specifications, my setup, I have not experienced that issue. So hopefully they get to the bottom of it and start making some customers happy. I just kind of hate to see this aircraft experience so much bad press, given that it was released the way it was released, and people are having a lot of issues with it. One thing I will have to give them though is the fact that the bloody thing tracks a flight plan. Like I said, we're crossing ELD now, and it made a little course adjustment, but nothing major, nothing over exaggerated. We're crossing the waypoint now, on to the next one. And I can see it maturing. I can finally see, compared to what we were given upon release up until now, I will say the software has definitely matured substantially. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that the thing's perfect. There's no issues at all. I'm pretty sure at some point we'll run up on something, but as of right now, I mean, this to me is number one. If it can track a bloody flight plan, I mean, everything else is, in my opinion, minute. So what the geometry is off or something. I don't know. You just be surprised how petty a lot of people get. But if I can jump in a thing and I program an airway or jetway, I provided an entry exit point and it flies it. I mean, that's a win in my book. I did hear the time of descent deal isn't all the way ironed out yet. That's cool. You know what? Guess what? You can do it yourself. Throw together some quick calculations. There's a tons of formulas. They'll dang near put you right on where you want to be as long as you fly the profile. So, you know, if it's not giving you the, you know, top of descent that you're looking for, you know, you can always jump in, you know. There's tons of tools out there that can help you plan your descent accurately. So you know, I wouldn't get so flustered on that stuff like that. You know, gets, you know, engineered out by the developers over time. You know, stuff like that will come. So I really wouldn't be too terribly concerned on that. Um, but we will check out the ILS here and see how the ILS handles handles the localizer and the glide slope, and see if it tracks it well. And if it does that, I mean, that's, you know, that's a plus for me. You know, I'm good with that. You know, everything else, you know, I can pick up as time goes on. You know, they start working little bugs and kinks out. Hopefully, eventually, I'll be able to finally get a flight at night with this thing and show you guys the real light function on here. I mean, it's amazing, simply amazing. And give the CRJ a little bit of a break, because to me, it's just it's just chaos in the forums over at Aerosoft right now. Now people are definitely going through that aircraft with a fine tooth comb, and I mean, it's completely justifiable, because that's an airplane that a lot of people have been looking for a very, and I mean a very long time, myself included, and they're going through it with a fine tooth comb. I mean, and honestly, I don't know why a lot of these people, I said a lot of them, I don't know why the few who have been contributing the most weren't on the beta team to begin with. Because I mean, I can see where they've been posting in the preview forums or whatnot, but you know, for whatever reason, they never ended up on the beta team. And it's quite evident that some of the issues that the aircraft has been having probably could have been caught in the beta process. I mean, you're not going to catch everything, and that's cool, but you know, there are a few things I'm like, man, it's kind of basic, you know, like when I first downloaded it and ran it, to me, it seemed like it tracked the flight plan okay. It wasn't spot on, but it was okay. And, you know, which happens, but it seems like as they've been rushing to kind of try to get everything patched together, get everything fixed, to me, it seems that I'm not sure if the airway constraints have been widened or what, but to me, it seems like it's not as precise. And the autopilot functionality, which is huge, especially, you know, on some of those routes there where, you know, it's imperative that, you know, when you're in the terminal area, that your auto flight system is precise, is accurate, you know, is tracking the profile that you programmed it to track. And as of right now on my system, like, I'm not speaking for everyone else's, but as far as my system, the CRJ version 1.0.0.5 Charlie, it's not, it seems to have not been fixed just yet, but I've been hearing that's should be coming out shortly. A huge service pack should be coming out shortly, and that will be nice, because it's an airplane that's near and dear to a lot of people's hearts. There's a lot of RJ pilots who use flight sim, and you know, when you have such a, you know, a relationship with a particular, with a particular piece of equipment, you know, like, you know, Saab, Sarah J, whatever, and something is blatantly not right. I mean, you can't help but not to say anything. And I think that's what's been going on the forums. I don't think it's so much of, you know, they're being boisterous of their position or anything like that. I just think it's one of those things where it's like, you know, I mean, this is flight sim. I know this is wrong. I shouldn't say anything, but at the same time, I should, because this is completely not right. And that's what's been going on there. So, I gave the Sierra J a little break. I mean, I'm able to finish a flight with it, but you know, it's just not quite there. So I gave it a little bit of break, a little bit of a break, and which is giving me the opportunity to jump back into 717. And overall, I mean, I'm pleased with it. The ground friction seems to have been tweaked, so it's not the breakaway thrust is a lot less than it has been in the past, and they've also released my favorite paint job for the 717, which is awesome. So I mean, overall, I've been impressed. I've been impressed with it. Like I said, you know, the few quirks there, you know, like the VNAV calculations and stuff like that. It's just a matter of, you know, trial and error and getting everything dialed in. And once that's dialed in, you know, I think this due to be pretty solid. Excuse me. But other than that, that's pretty much all that's been going on my end. I went ahead and bit the bullet and tried to test out the PTA P3D tweaker something. I can't even think of it right now. Matter of fact, let me see if I can just pull it up. PTA. Went ahead and purchased it. Let's see, what was it? Let's see, P3D, Prepare 3D Tweaking Assistant. And went ahead and downloaded that to try it out, and it's not active right now. I went ahead and went back to my default shaders, but I'm not saying that it's not good software. I'm not going to say that because I haven't spent a whole lot of time with it, but just on my setup, it's not something where I was able to install it, throw in the preset, and like my entire world just changed. That didn't happen for me. It seems to have happened for a lot of people, but that didn't happen for me. So I was a little perturbed, but you know, I think it's just one of those things. You got to spend some more time with it to get everything dialed in. So for those of you who have not purchased the prepared tweaking assistant, just be forewarned that you might have to do some adjustments on your own, or you might have to dive into your graphics settings to really get the full potential out of the tool. So I think that's probably what I am going to have to do, is just jump in there and play with my graphics settings too. But I mean, I'm not gonna lie, some of the screenshots look just phenomenal. You're like, oh my gosh, you know. Some of them to me seem a little oversaturated, but you know, some of them you pull up and it's like, oh my gosh, that's like the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my entire life. And you know, you go and you rush over there, you grab it and install it, and you find the presets. I mean, there's tons of presets people have made throughout the software is released, and you install it and you're just like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And you pull up the default, you finally get it loaded up and you're just like, wait a minute, this looks the same. Exactly, Alex. And I was a little disappointed. I think my wife kind of picked up my vibe, because I'm waiting on bated breath, and finally loaded up, and it's just wow. So but maybe perhaps play around. I can play around with my graphic settings. I mean, there's a lot of people who endorse it, and some people say that you can't run P3D without it. Well, I mean, I beg to differ. I mean, to me, this doesn't look bad to me. It's not perfect, but it doesn't look too terribly bad to me, especially when I go and you pay money for something to look the exact same way that it did before. Just throwing that out there. Just saying. I know people are gonna jump on the comments and be like, "Oh, Stalker, you're a moron. You just gotta make." Okay. But I mean, I just gotta call a spade a spade. It wasn't as simple as installing it, grabbing the preset, throwing it in there, loading it up. It's not that simple. I don't know. I see a lot of people using other textures and stuff like that, but I just to me, I really don't want to put, 70, 80 bucks worth of textures on this thing. Mesh scenery, I get it. Vector scenery, okay, I get it. But going in there and, spending a whole bunch of money on like textures and stuff like that, I mean, heck, to be honest with you, for the amount of money you'll put into it, you might as well go and freaking get you a Discovery Freight for 150 bucks and call it a day. I don't know. It's just, I mean, I say that, but then again, I go and I put a whole bunch of money in airplanes and stuff like that. So, I mean, to each his own, but just be forewarned. Make sure you do your due diligence before you go to pull the trigger on PTA. Just saying. And and if you guys haven't been over to the Orbx website, there's like a phenomenal sale going on. And if those of you who are like myself, missed out on like FTX Global, FTX, not FTX, oh my gosh, Orbx Global, Orbx Vector, and all that, now would probably be the best time to get it. And if you're in the United States, the exchange rate is indeed in your favor. So, hey SM, how's it going, bud? So go over there, snag you some scenery. I mean, they make some pretty good scenery. I'm not gonna lie. The Vector to me was a huge improvement over just regular. I think what was it, Ultimate Ground Environment from Flight 1. I think that's Vector, Orbx Vector's equivalent, and they basically do the same thing, but from what I've been reading, they pull from different sources. So I think Orbx Vector pulls OSM data, and then Ultimate Traffic pulls let me to put user on time who's had. Oh no, bud, you're good, man. You're good. Alex is good people, man. He's good people. We're just talking about PTA, my prepared tweaking assistant. But yeah, so yeah, huge improvement for me. They also got what is your favorite payware airplane? Right now, honestly, I'm still in the PMDG phase. I'm a huge fan of this guy here, the Boeing 717. am also a huge fan of the CRJ, but both of those aircraft as of right now aren't quite there. They're close, but they just aren't quite there. So, but yeah, as of right now, oh, there was a little jiggle there. Yeah, she did jiggle a little bit. Okay. Okay, I can see where that could cause some concern. I mean, when you're thinking about it, and we're crossing, I think that's SQS. I'm gonna go to my late. Oh man, yeah, go take care of that, buddy. I'll be here, man. Got a little jiggle there crossing SQS. Just want to say, oh, cool, man. Thanks, brother. You take care of yourself. Yeah, I got a little jiggle there. Okay, no big deal, no big deal. But yeah. So I'm still in the process of getting all my aircraft over to version 4. So that's going to be an ongoing process because you have to basically buy all those again. So between what was it 737, I need the 6 and 700 models. I need the 777, 747. Yeah, so both of those. I just got the DC-6. So yeah, we're looking close to $200 worth of airplanes. Yeah. Is P3D version 4 worth it? I will say it depends on what you fly and what you're looking for in a sim. Unfortunately, there are some developers that are now defunct who put out some just amazing content for FSX and FSXSC. So just be forewarned, you're probably not going to get an update. So if you have that particular aircraft that's near and dear to your heart, I would definitely keep me. Excuse me. I would definitely keep me a copy of FSX installed for that very reason. Also, you want to look at, for people who run like a lot of add-on scenery, I mean a lot of add-on scenery, that 64-bit capability is invaluable. And, but other than that, a lot of people are in, I mean, I'm the same way. I love the fluidity of P3D on my system versus FXX, and even with all the tweaking, everything like that. My machine is very fluid. It reminds me of X-Plane, the fluidity of X-Plane 11. And I would highly recommend it just for that. I don't run a whole lot of add-on scenery. Most of my streams, you'll probably see me in default scenery. Plus or minus a few. But as far as, like I have flight beams, Minneapolis scenery, and it's phenomenal flying in there because it's so smooth. I don't know if you guys notice when you, let's say, for example, we're flying into Houston. And, FS Dream Team has that, just marvelous India Alpha Hotel scenery, KIH, the Houston George Bush International Airport down there. They have marvelous scenery down there. And when you're flying in FSX, you'll get that pause when you reach the terminal area. It might not be long, depending on your system, but you'll get that kind of long pause to give the software time for it to load the scenery. On P3D version 4, you don't get that. Well, at least I don't get that. When you get close to terminal area, bam, it's there. I'm gonna get oh yeah, I would recommend it. I would highly recommend it. My goal is to only have X-Plane 11 and P3D version 4, and that's it. But I'm still waiting on a couple to be ported over or brought over. Who is it? Majestic, the Dash 8 Q400, waiting for that. There are a couple that I know that's probably not going to come. I don't know if you guys remember Razvam, but they had an amazing um, Metroliner, which you know, the San Antonio sewer tube. Are the physics the same as FSX? It's based off the ESP engine, and so graphically, it's about as best as the ESP engine is probably going to get. But yes, the physics are airfoil based still. It's not like the blade element theory or whatever, like from X-Plane. Now, I say that to say this: it has been optimized. They've made quite a few improvements, in my opinion, on the physics. Um, it really just depends on what it should feel like to you. Some people say that, you know, X-Plane has the most accurate physics they're out there, which in some cases I can kind of see that as well, especially with like X Aviation, Saab 340, the CRJ. Yeah, you know, you can kind of, okay, I get that. But you know, there are also some heavy hitters like PMDG 737, the Q400. You know, they're mind blowing, but most of those they kind of operate outside of it. But you know, the physics wise, I would say they're still probably kind of close to FXX, but heavily optimized. So don't let that steer you away from giving it a shot. And in case you're kind of on the fence about it, you didn't hear this from me. But you can get, oh, I can't think of the license, but it's monthly. But you can purchase a license. It's like I said, it's monthly, and that'll at least get you in, and you can try it out and see if you like it. Then if you like it, then you can try a lot. You know, you can upgrade to a license that's best convenient for your situation, and I'll put it to you. You know, put it to you like that. So I mean, like I said, to me, I'm happy with it. But you know, that's not to say, you know, I'm not going to sit here and tell you, oh, X-Plane's garbage, oh, this is garbage, you know, blah, 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 blah. You know, heck, at one point I had X-Plane 10, X-Plane 11, P3D version 3, P3D version 4, and FSXXC all in one machine. So, you know, I mean, they all have their, you know, yeah. So I mean, yeah, they all have their pluses and minuses, pros and cons. You know, it's just ultimately you jump in there. If they got the airplanes you like, and if it feels good to you, snag it. You know, I mean, you can take, you know, a Cessna 172 in X-Plane and a Cessna 172, you know, on P3D, and you will have, you know, two people both with experience on the real aircraft, and you know, they'll 90% of the time they'll have different opinions. You know, they can fly the same thing and they'll probably have different opinions on how it feels. So just a little, you know, little tidbit there. I hope that kind of answered your question. I know I danced around a lot with it, but you know, it's a weird subject, you know, especially you're trying to simulate something as you know, an aircraft moving through air. It's, you know, something, you know, some multi-million-dollar sims have barely got right. So but I have heard word on the grapevine about another sim, and this particular sim is I think it's called Flight Sim World, and the screenshots look pretty freaking good, but my only problem, yep, exactly. My only problem with it is that I don't know. I guess I kind of have I don't want to be biased, but I guess I can. I'm not a huge fan of dovetail games. Um, but I will say one thing about dovetail games is that they make just their graphics are amazing. I mean, even have their train sim, the graphics are amazing. I mean, it's just a beautiful sim. But for whatever reason, they just said screw it on the physics for train sim. I mean, they just And I mean, you can look it up on YouTube. They're just you'll have real world engineers. They're like, dude, this is garbage. I mean, it looks great. I mean, and honestly, I still use it because it just looks so good. You're just like, oh my gosh, it's like the closest to a train I'll ever get. But I'm kind of keeping an eye on it. For one, I think it's like 18 bucks right now. So if you are kind of looking at trying it, now is probably like the best time to do it. But I think it's missing like real world weather and stuff like that. A couple little odds and ends there. But there are people out there now. They're already calling it, the I guess, God's gift to flight simulation. And I'm I'm not gonna quite call it that just yet, but I mean, I have to give them to them. Just like they did with Train Sim. The graphics are really good. I just hope they don't treat it like Train Sim and just like throw something together. Because I will say the flight sim community is a pretty demanding community, so you're just not gonna throw some garbage up on Steam and think it's gonna fly for folks who have spent thousands upon thousands of dollars, of their own money on simulating aircraft. So, am I gonna get it? I don't know. I don't know just yet. I don't know. I just don't know. So, but that's an option as well. You can take a look at that and hope he makes it max or update. Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that one. I really hope PMDG doesn't sit on their laurels. And me personally, I will kind of like to see the VC kind of bumped up a little bit. And I would also, since they're, since them and Boeing are pretty tight, hopefully they can get some behind the scenes deal on the, as far as getting access to aircraft and documentation to get a pretty good 737 Max out there. That'd be pretty nice because you're starting to see them now. Have you ever heard? Yes, I have. And the 750, yeah, I'm just gonna I'm I mean, I'm just gonna treat them like I did Aero when they were working on the CRJ. A lot of times what I'll just deliberately try to forget about it because if you're when you go and you're trying to check the forums, it's done yet, it's yeah. A watched pot never boils. So, and that saying goes true for Level D. Now, when it does come out, I'm pretty sure it's going to be, a sight to behold. But as of right now, a lot of times I'll just kind of put that in the back of my mind. And, hopefully I'll log on to ABSIM one day and see, Level D is released, whatever, or, 757 is hit beta or something like that. And then I'll get excited. But yeah, I would be stoked to get a good 757 for P3D. I mean, absolutely stoked. And I'll tell you another one I'd be kind of looking for too. If someone could throw an Embraer 135, 145, heck, give me a 170, 175, or 190, I would dance at their wedding. I mean, we need RJs back. I mean, like I said, that's why everybody was so excited for the CRJ. Everybody's like, oh my gosh, we finally got one. But I think in the excitement of trying to get the thing out, I don't know. I don't know who was on their beta team. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. But I think in the the commotion of trying to get everything put out, I think they pushed it out a little bit too early. But then there were people on the forum like bashing Aerosoft because they hadn't released it yet. So I mean, in that situation, unfortunately, you can't really win for losing all the quality wing 7. Yeah, actually, yeah. I mean, I agree on that one as well. I mean, a 787. I mean, you're starting to see these newer aircraft come out, and I sometimes these, to me, I think we're coming out of an era in commercial aviation. We're starting to see more aircraft that are getting to a point where they're like all glass. I mean, I mean, of course, I mean, we can call this all glass, but I mean, like literally touchscreen interfaces. We're starting to see a lot of that now. And the problem is, I don't think so much as getting the flight model together, getting the switches and the flight dynamics together, but it's just coding. You're basically trying to take a real version of this software and miniaturize it, and throw it in I mean, let's just face it, a home-based simulator, and getting it at a good price point, and that's pretty tough to do. So I can't really fault Quality Wings for their development time. I know that yeah. I mean, I can go ahead and say, I mean, I know that's gonna that takes a while, but I believe this Flight Sim Con, they had a booth there, and they did a demonstration of the 787, and it looked as if it was coming along pretty good. So I'm willing to venture off and say we'll probably see it sometime, either the end of this year or like probably the first like Q1 or maybe Q2 of next year. So I can see that one coming. But I have yet to see any indication of anyone doing another Embraer. I know Phil there has had one out for years, and I just don't know about them because they're the whole Wilco deal, and you guys, I'm sure you guys have seen Wilco's Falcon that they released that was supposedly endorsed by Dassault, and yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. So, but yeah, I mean, I know hopefully they can get that CRJ together, which I mean, I'm sure, I know they will. I mean, I've known of Hans, who's the lead developer, for the CRJ. He's been around for years, and I don't know if you guys have ever heard of the Fokker 100 and the Fokker 70 for Flight Sim 10 and Flight Sim 9 back in the day, but that broke the mold for a lot of things in flight simulation. I mean, auto land capability, radar. I mean, it was the standard back in the day. So I have, if no one else can pull this off, Hans can pull it off. You just got, if you can give him the right material. And I'm glad a lot of these RJ pilots are getting in there and didn't say the heck with it, because a lot of people got frustrated, or like, well, it's been out, they've been working on it 8 years and you're telling me it's not done. All the heck with this, and just left it. But they've been actively trying to provide insight and their experiences to get that thing lined out. So we should have a mature version of the CRJ here soon. And like I said, I'm just hoping that segues into more RJ aircraft, hopefully. But I mean, we've been wanting I know I've been wanting a 717 for a long time, and we finally got one. So You know, despite its little quirks and nuances, I'm super happy with it. You know, and honestly, I mean, as far as the flight, it was fairly uneventful. It didn't do anything too terribly weird. Now, that's not to say if it hits a certain intersection or if it's a fix or if it's a VOR that, you know, it gets thrown off or something. Because I don't, you know, I don't fly. I don't do a lot of international flights and flight sim much. I mostly stay within the United States or, you know, the North American territory. So that's not to say, you know, it might be somewhere else, but, you know, I mean, we had that little jiggle when we crossed Sidon, and other than that, I mean, it's been fairly solid. But what I am going to do here, I'm going to go ahead and intervene a little bit and see if we can get this thing slowed down like a lot. And I see they've reduced the the braking action of the speed brake. I know it was pretty aggressive a while ago. I'm gonna add a little more speed brake. All right, I'm slow down that rate of descent just a smidget. There's Birmingham off to our right. And I'll go ahead and get out of it real quick. And bring that girl on to 240. Lock that in. Get my heading mode set. I'm going to get a little closer there, and then we'll kind of break off for a little half cot downwind for base to final. That's the plan, at least. That is the plan. Alright, now that we're slowed down, see if we can go ahead and increase that rate of descent. Make sure the speeds, I'm looking for 144 knots, VREF of 139. Update my ATIS. What are you doing? Did you go weird on me? I think you did. Yeah, it's getting weird on me. Oh well. Mm, 210. Let's see, see where our 3,700 feet. Cool. All right. So we got localizer and glide slope alive. Okay, that is odd there. I don't know if you guys have noticed that, but we're set for a heading of 058, and we are in heading select mode, and she's not one to fly it, like at all. All right, so my controls. My controls. There we go.
Autopilot.
All right. Let's go ahead and try to salvage this thing here. Luckily, she flies like super nice. Heck, I might have to. This might turn out to be like a weird left downwind to base. I'll throw some more spoiler. I don't want to prolong this no more than I have to. Seems like the auto throttle is behaving a lot better than what it used to in past releases, so that's a plus. That is indeed a plus. Alright, yeah, spoiler. Alright, let's go ahead and start our little weird base leg.
Stabilizer motion. Altitude. Stabilizer motion.
Good old McDonnell Douglas. They have probably some of the most unique verbal enunciations out there. One of the most unique. It is pleasing to notice that the auto throttle isn't spending a whole lot of time chasing an airspeed. I'm gonna go ahead and throw in some slats though. Zoom in there. I have to go ahead and arm my localizer. Give me 180. Okay. All right. Make it a turn there. Burn some altitude. Squeeze a couple of S-turns in there. All right. Gear trimmed out right here. And we'll hold a $180 until we see the glide slope. Alright, looks like she's starting to creep for us a little bit. And I'm gonna walk her down to about $170. Trim that up a little bit. And give some gear down. And flaps 13. Why didn't you turn on my pumps, FO? Why didn't you turn on my pumps? Yeah, I'll go ahead and set this all the way down to VREV. And normally, what I've been doing here lately, I've just been going ahead and if I can get it, there we go. Get down there. And trim this down. We'll S-turn it a little bit. Honestly, at this point, we would probably go around and would go mist and come back in for another stabilized approach, but we'll go ahead and squeeze her in there.
1,000.
All right.
$500. 400. 300.
A little bit of a crosswind.
Minimums.
Landing. Yes, I know. I know.
Glide slope. Glide slope. Glide slope. Glide slope.
100.
Glide slope.
50.
Glide slope.
30. 20. 10. 5.
Put your nose down. Alright. Now we'll forward yoke there. Alright, go ahead and get out of the reversers. Not the most stabilized, but I'm sure there's a key command or something like that to disengage the auto throttle. Probably look. Sure, there's probably a Lua file out for it or something like that. Maybe you can set up some commands. That makes life a lot easier than to try to hunt that little disconnect button on the side of the yoke. I mean the throttles. Makes life a lot easier. And as you can see, I'm going to go ahead and idle the engines and try to clean this thing up real quick. They're all nice and cleaned up. Some pretty decent scenery, nothing too extravagant. I really wish there was a lot more regional scenery out there available. This group here, I think they're SXAD, Sierra, X-Ray, Alpha, Delta. You can find them on Sim Market, and it's pretty good. And the price isn't, you know, ridiculous, like 40-50 bucks for a freaking airport, but you know, I think I got this for like 22 bucks or something like that US, so not terribly expensive, but it gives you something a little, you know, a little more to look at than just the old, you know, Joe Schmo default scenery. And the gates are SODI gates as well, so they look really good when you're docking. I don't know. We'll probably head back up north to Alaska and check out that DC-6 again next stream. I enjoy that, guys. She's pretty fun. I'm still learning it, so should be interesting next stream, perhaps tonight. Alrighty. Oops. Oh, ho, 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 ho. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. I apologize for the spur of the moment deal there. Like I said, I just had those random thoughts while I was mid cruise. I was like, you know what? Go ahead and throw a quick stream down so we can talk about it. But like I said, all in all, you know, we're definitely seeing some improvement with her. You know, still has a little bit to go, but you know, I know over time she'll get there. Next spring, I'm probably going to be looking at jumping back in the old crusty, dusty DC-6 for some freight ops in the Great White North, and should be pretty fun. So check it out if you like it, love it, or hate it. Feel free to throw it in the comments below. And till next time, guys, we'll see you here in a bit. And if you can't be good to yourself, be good to each other.